under starter's orders, and they're off.
And racing over the straight mile in this Queen Anne Stakes. And away to a very level break in the early stages of the race. The leaders include Monsegem towards the inside. Monsegem, who is being tracked by, on the outside just of him, Magic Gleam. On the extreme outside, that's the rank outside of Vague Shot. Close up is the favourite Safawan. They're coming down now towards the end of the second furlong, and Magic Gleam has gone into the lead now. Magic Gleam followed by Monsegem and Vague Shot, and then Allborn. And as they now near the end of the third furlong, it is still Magic Gleam under Pat Edry, who rode the odds-on winner of this race last year. Vague Shot, the outsider, belying his odds at the moment, going well towards the outside. Right up there on the inside too is Distant Relative running strongly. They're almost now at halfway in the Queen Anne Stakes, and it's still the filly Magic Gleam who is making the running. Over the crossing now, Magic Gleam leads, but making good ground now just behind her is the other filly, Allborn. Right after them, Distant Relative, and these are now the first three. As they come to the final 2.5 furlongs, they're followed by Mirror Black trying to get on terms, and Luna Mover. Safawan, the favourite's got it all to do on the wide outside. Mark of Distinction is not far off the pace. The last two now are Vague Shot and the early leader, Monsegem. Down to the final furlong and a half. And Magic Gleam still leads, but is being pressed now by Distant Relative, who's been switched by Michael Hills to challenge. And here now comes Mark of Distinction on the near side. And Mark of Distinction finishing best of all with Frankie Dettori from Mirror Black. And it's these two, Mark of Distinction and Mirror Black, fighting it out as they race up towards the line. Mark of Distinction just wins the Queen Anne Stakes from Mirror Black, Distant Relative and Magic Gleam.
They're under starter's orders, and they're off.
Alcando missed it badly, a good 4 or 5 lengths, and is a long last on settling down. Relief Pitcher going on early by a couple of lengths to Dolpour, and Batshoof is right up there as well. Pelorus settling in 4th position on the inside of Legal Case. Well back then is Scenic on the outside. Terryman second last, and Alcando after that tardy start is last of all. Relief Pitcher is going to set a good gallop as they go to Swinley Bottom now. Inside the mile, it's Relief Pitcher by 4 lengths to Dolpour. 3 lengths away, Batshoof will like this pace up front. A length further back is Scenic. Half a length then in the centre, Legal Case from Pelorus. 2 lengths away then is Terryman, and Alcando whips them in. Out of Swinley Bottom and going past the 7, Relief Pitcher making play by 4 or 5 lengths to Dolpour. 3 away then is Batshoof, followed by Scenic on the outside. Legal Case is behind them from Pelorus the inside. 3 lengths to Terryman, and Alcando still last. 5.5 furlongs out, and it's Relief Pitcher. Pitcher is setting a scorching pace. Leads by about 5 or 6 lengths and going further ahead of Dolpour. 4 lengths away then is Batshoof from Scenic. Pelorus the inside. A length and a half then to Legal Case. Further back from Terryman, and Alcando still last of all. But it's Relief Pitcher who's really stretching them half a mile out. Leads by about 5 lengths to Dolpour. 3 away then is Batshoof, who's being niggled at now from Scenic. Pelorus the inside. 3 away Terryman from Legal Case, who's second last, and Alcando still at the rear. Coming to the turn now in the Prince of Wales' Stakes, and it's Relief Pitcher who's the one they have to catch inside the 3. About 5 lengths in front, Batshoof on the outside, and Dolpour trying to peg him back. 3 lengths away then is Pelorus from Terryman, then Legal Case taken out wide. Inside the 2 now, he's gone for the whip on Relief Pitcher. Leads by only 2 lengths to Batshoof on the outside from Dolpour. Then Terryman. Legal Case is making late headway. Coming up to the furlong though, it's Relief Pitcher. Batshoof on the outside, and Terryman with a late run from Legal Case. It's Relief Pitcher on the inside, about a neck in front. Grabbed now by Batshoof and Terryman. Relief Pitcher though kicking again. Batshoof making a late lunge. They go to the line. Batshoof, Relief Pitcher. Then Terryman third, and Legal Case fourth.
They're under starter's orders, and they're off.
And they've gone without Royal Academy, who had every chance to go in but refused, so no Irish challenger in the St James's Palace this year. And the one who was a bit slowly away is Call to Arms, but the early leader is Shavian. They've come a furlong, and it is Shavian leading a closely bunched group, headed by Anshan in second place, and followed by Rock City right against the rails, then Eton Lad and Book the Band. Call to Arms after a slow start is making ground. The last two are Dashing Blade, and finally the favourite Lord Flory, the horse who is on a hat-trick. They're now coming inside the final 5.5 furlongs, and it is still Shavian and Steve Cawthon who are dictating the pace here by about 2.5 lengths, ahead of Rock City, one of the 2 course winners in this, now going into second place. Then Anshan close in third. Anshan only third when favourite last time. They now come inside the final half mile, and it is Shavian still leading and increasing his lead, if anything, ahead of Rock City. Then Anshan, Book the Band up towards the outside, and Call to Arms. After these comes Dashing Blade. And reading back to Lord Flory, making a bit of ground now. Lord Flory attempting a Kumani to Tory double. And the one who is now last of all is Eton Lad. They're in line for home and coming towards the final quarter of a mile, and it is Shavian still out in front. Shavian being chased all the while by Rock City, making ground on the wide outside are both Book the Band and Dashing Blade, but it's Shavian still the leader. Down towards the distance, Shavian showing no signs of stopping. He's still a good 2 lengths up on Rock City. Lord Flory now moves into third place, but he's left it awfully late inside the final furlong. And it is Shavian looking like making all the running in the St James's Palace Stakes. Up towards the line, Shavian and Steve Cawthon. Lord Flory might just get second. It's going to be close, but it's Shavian. Close for second between Lord Flory and Rock City. Dashing Blade was fourth.
They're under starters' orders, and they're off.
Maxim hit the ground flying in the centre from Jim's Wishes right up there. Tinkinswood over on the far side with Time for the Blues. On the near side of the pack, it's Fital who's right up there with Generous as they sort themselves out through the first 2 furlongs or so. And it's Maxim showing the way from up on the outside, Time for the Blues. In the centre there is Generous, who's very handy from Tinkinswood, and just behind them on the near side is Fital as they run down now towards the 3 furlong marker. It's Maxim showing the way from Generous. On the far side, Time for the Blues, followed by Tinkinswood, and behind them Beloved Visitor the centre. Over on the far side is Hailsham, followed by Bold Nephew, and behind them is Big Blow. Forcing in the middle of the pack, and well back is Soweto from Groombridge on the stands rail. Inside the 2, it's Maxim who showed them a clean pair of heels. 2 lengths in front now, Bold Nephew and Generous boxing on from Tinkinswood. Hailsham behind them from Big Blow, but inside the furlong it's Maxim 2 in front. Bold Nephew and Generous aren't making any impression. It's Maxim 3 in front now. It's starting to get a little bit weary, drifting to the stands rail, but Maxim is going to lead all the way in the Coventry. Kept going, it's Maxim who goes on to win well from Generous. Bold Nephew is third and Tinkinswood fourth.
They're under starters' orders, and they're off.
And on the outside, Dorset Duke dwelt for a second or two as the stalls opened. Air Music is the early leader. They have 1.5 miles to run. Mukdam goes second on the outside. 1.5 lengths back to Private Tender, racing in company with Duke of Paducah. These two third and fourth. They're followed by Sasaki on the inside of Dorset Duke. Regimental Arms with, last of all, Beecham Express. The pace just a steady one, with Air Music making the running, but now being passed by Dorset Duke, quickening up as they go down past the 1.25 mile marker. Dorset Duke leads by 2. Air Music is in second, 1.5 lengths back to Mukdam in third. Private Tender racing slightly wide just ahead of Duke of Paducah in 5. After these, Sasaki, Regimental Arms, and last of all, Beecham Express. Down now towards a point 1 mile from home as they start the turn at Swinley Bottom. And Dorset Duke now having set a really strong pace for the last furlong and a half, and he's 4 clear of Air Music in second. 1.5 lengths back to Mukdam in third. Private Tender just shading Duke of Paducah. These two 4 and 5. They're followed by Sasaki and Regimental Arms, and 2 lengths further behind these is Beecham Express. So they turn for home now with just under 7 to run. And still Dorset Duke is 3 clear of Air Music. 1.5 lengths behind this, Mukdam is third. At halfway, it's Dorset Duke with a 3-length advantage. Air Music is in second, Mukdam on the outside, and Private Tender a third and fourth. Duke of Paducah 5, Regimental Arms 6, Sasaki 7, and Beecham Express 8 as they race into the final 5 furlongs. Dorset Duke maintains his strong gallop, about 3 clear of Air Music, going nicely in second. 2 lengths behind this, Mukdam is third. Then comes Private Tender and Duke of Paducah 4 and 5. Regimental Arms 6, Sasaki 7, and Beecham Express 8. As they start the turn for home now, they've got just over 3 to run from this point. And the running still being made by Dorset Duke. Dorset Duke followed by Air Music, who's taking closer order. Slightly wide after these comes Private Tender, who's gone third as Dorset Duke fades. And they come up now to the final 2 furlongs. Air Music 1.5 lengths in front of Private Tender in second. Mukdam's back in third. In 4, Duke of Paducah, Sasaki 5 as they come now to the final furlong, and the Kined with a 7. And it's here that Private Tender takes it up from Air Music on the far side. Mukdam runs on well in third. Duke of Paducah in 4, Sasaki in 5, but well inside the final furlong, and it's Private Tender. Private Tender strides clear. It's going to be very close, but third between Mukdam in the centre, Duke of Paducah and